Hi, it's Susie, and I'm back. I'm back with another big block to smash in my series of the 10 biggest blocks to happiness. So today I'm going to talk to you about a pattern that I know a lot of us fall into, and that's living in the past or living in the future. But what about now? So first of all, I'm going to start with living in the past. And there are a few different reasons people do this. And I'm just going to, share a couple with you that I've researched. One of the main ones is that it's comfortable there. We know what's going to happen. There's no surprises. It's okay, I guess, living like that. For some people, but could also lead to a bit of complacency and not ever stretching yourself and finding what else is out there for you. Another reason that we can focus or live in the past is that we've been hurt. We've been hurt by someone, and we find it difficult to let go of that. So we're constantly replaying that pattern of being hurt and living in that moment. But there comes a time in your life when you have to let go of that, because the only person you are hurting is yourself. You can't grow when you hold on to these things. And I can guarantee you that that person that has hurt you in the past is not spending every waking moment thinking about you and the situation. They've probably let it go. So it's really important, whether it be, a parent or a partner or something, a work colleague, if you can find a way to forgive. Now, I know there's some terrible things that happen to people in the world, and you might think, how could I ever forgive that person for doing that? You don't have to forget the things that have happened to you, but by forgiving, it allows you to move on with your life and live in the now. And you deserve that. So you might decide to forgive by speaking to that person. Or if that person's not around, or it's just unthinkable that you could even do that, write down what you're feeling, get it out. And give yourself that gift of moving on from that situation. Another reason that you might be living in the past is because you're not happy with your current life. You feel stuck, you feel unmotivated, you don't know how to move forward. But if you don't do something now, if you don't make that effort yourself, nobody's going to do it for you. And I'd hate to think that 10 years down the track, you're still stuck in an unhappy life or unhealthy patterns because it was easier for you just to bury your head in the sand and knew nothing about it. So what about living in the future? Well, I was a prime candidate of doing this. I was constantly worrying about things that hadn't happened. I would create huge stories in my mind, the worst case scenarios of things. Just growing, I'd add on bit by bit by bit. I can tell you this, especially for people that suffer with anxiety, is a really painful way to live your life. None of us can predict what's going to happen. We don't have that power. It'd be like saying, on my wedding day, I don't want it to rain. No one has that control. It's really, really important to give yourself that gift of not creating these stories in your head. Challenge yourself. Stop yourself and say, is that true? Is that going to be the outcome of this situation? Because I can guarantee you, it probably isn't. You've just created this huge story in your mind, scared yourself silly, and it hasn't even happened. So next time you start doing that, I want you to just stop and really ask yourself that question. Is it true? And how would I feel if I didn't think that? It's a really great gift to give yourself. Live now. This is all we've got. Honestly, there's so much joy in today. There's so much joy, yes, in setting goals. Setting goals is great. I'm not saying it's not. But enjoying the now, enjoying the journey, as they say, instead of always thinking about the destination. There's a beautiful saying by Lao Tzu. I don't know if I'm going to quote this directly. If you are depressed, you're living in the past. If you're anxious, you're living in the future. And if you're at peace, you're living in the now. And after all, that's all we want, isn't it? To live a life of peace and happiness and joy. So I hope this has been of some benefit, and I'll look forward to seeing you in the next video.